Well, you're in for a real treat. Our opening keynote speaker, the Wall Street Journal calls him one of the 10 most inspirational people in the world. He's a best-selling author. He's president of his own communications company. He's a world-class wheelchair athlete. He's a personal friend of mine, and I describe him as the most inspirational person that I've ever met in the world, and you're in for a real treat. So to get started, I'd like to roll this video.
Guess who my choice impacted more than myself? Who does that car represent? Not just my wife, not just the kids, that's not right. It represents everybody in this room, everybody that I associated with in my life. So why don't you leave here and make good choices for them? The platform never was about you. Being a dad and a mom, being a speaker, it never was about you or your income or even your topic. Use your imagination. It was about everybody that comes along in your journey. That's what it's about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Hymas.
Get started. Thanks, guys. It's an honor to be here. Thank you. So I hope you heard what David just said about building relationships. Did you all notice did you catch how he got up on the stage? Did you see that? Did you take a glance over at how that happened? There's no ramp. It's not because they didn't offer to have a ramp, and I didn't know who was going to do it. That's part of the excitement of my life. I never know who's going to help me next. I travel the world alone. 52 countries, all 7 continents. God put people on all 7. And I'm not sure who's going to help me on the plane tonight. I'll be in New York at 12:06 tonight to speak there tomorrow morning. I travel alone. I'm not saying that to brag. I just want to say thank you to all of you for being proactive versus reactive. We're going to have some fun with that today and see just how that works. I want to start off today a little bit differently with regards to what David said about building relationships face-to-face and not necessarily just using social media. We're going to hit this hard. I want you all to take a hard look. Don't pull it up just yet, Eric. Stand tight. I'm changing my program around a little bit today just due to what I've heard so far. So I'm going to go to a different picture, and we're going live in 3, 2, 1. Take a hard look at that, please. Can I get some audience participation and just shout out what you see? Help me out. Joy. Joy, thank you. Who said the word joy over here? Who said it? Your name, sir? My name's Chad. Say first name again? Doug. Chad. I'm going to give you a free copy of my book for saying that. Everybody's getting one, so it's not that big of a deal. I want you to know that. So look at her face. She is look at her. She is joyful. Thank you, Doug. What else do we got? That's it? Just face? Insightful. Say that again? Insightful. Elaborate, please. Elaborate a little bit. Exuberance, exciteful. So in other words, you can see that she's happy. Thank you. I'm with you on that. Let's get into even some more detail. So let's move away from the face, and let's go to the surrounding area and her body. Cold. So cold. I might dispute that a little bit. You're saying cold because you're seeing some sort of a sweater or some sort of a jacket. Looks to be the color of pink. But I'm looking at her forehead and looking at well, you can see it's not overcast. And you can also see where she's at. She's not at a ski resort. She's at a golf course. Do you see the sand trap? Just so happens there's water on the 8th hole of Mountain View Golf Course. That's why the white seagulls are coming into land. So I understand why you said the word cold. I'm going to get to the pink sweater in a minute. But nice observation. You don't get a book for that. Move on. What else do we see? Come on, give me some more. What do you notice about Melanie? I just gave you your name, by the way. I just snuck it in. If you forget my name today, I'm cool with it. No problem. If you'll remember the name of Melanie, watch what happens to you in your life when it comes to building relationships and leaving a legacy for those to follow. Being a leader isn't about leading people. It's about getting people to follow you by your demonstration. You're going to see that today. These guys that helped me at the stage, they demonstrated what leadership looks like without me ever having to ask them to lift me up on the stage. The service that has been rendered to me since I arrived here this morning. Let me get off track. Keep the picture up, please, Eric. You all need to know that I was supposed to arrive last night at 5 o'clock. That's the truth. David knows that. I landed in Salt Lake, which is home for me, yesterday morning, and my wife had some tickets to a college football game. So I had planned on going to the first quarter and then catching a flight to be here last night. After some serious thought, I decided that I wanted to stay at the game and take the red eye, go to Atlanta, and be here at 9:30 this morning with 2 backup planes to get me here. When I told David and Carol that on the phone last night, they said, family first always. That's the whole theme of our event. That's what we want. Now go live it. When I arrived here this morning at about 10:30, all of them were outside waiting to greet me. I didn't expect that. That's the kind of people you have running this association. I think they deserve your round of applause. Amazing. They told me to go live. They told me to go live what I'm going to teach to you. What else do you see in the photo? I'll help you out. She's only got one arm, you guys. The other one's been removed. She doesn't have very good eyesight. That's why she's squinting. What color's her shirt? No, it's not pink. Look at her shoulder. Come on, you guys. You're better than this. Look at her shoulder. It's a green color. So what's the pink thing around her neck? Help me out. A shawl, a poncho? We called it a bib. I went to high school with that girl. I went to high school with her. Here's the problem. We always talked about building relationships. In fact, our football and our basketball coach told us it was always about team, and he always said there was no I in, but we never did demonstrate it outside the locker room. In fact, you all need to know this. I was called a leader of my organization. I was the CEO. In high school, they call it the captain of your team, which doesn't mean anything. I want to say this respectfully in front of all of you. Titles mean nothing when it comes to leadership. It's demonstrated by your behavior and attitude towards others, not announced by some title. In other words, just because I make a baby doesn't make me a father. Does that make sense to everybody in the room? Okay. I want to be careful with that, but that's something that I've learned. We never went up to the girl like David Joby just quoted Steve Jobs and did this. Hey, Melanie, my name is Chad Hymas. I'm the captain of the team here at the school, which doesn't mean anything. We just wanted to know if we as a team could sit by you for lunch. Maybe help feed you. Remember I told you, they were all outside waiting for me to arrive to help me with whatever need I had, and I never had that. I always figure out on my own, and I have people help. I'll just ask. I always have to ask. I can tell you that today, since I've arrived, I haven't asked for anything. Nothing. Hey, Melanie, can me and my friends walk you to class? We'll push your big wheelchair. Look at that wheelchair. Look at the headrest on that thing. We'll push your wheelchair. I know we'll be tardy because of it, but it could be a win-win. We're always tardy anyway. We might get a slip this time. It could get us an excuse. We never even thought of it selfishly. I want you all to know, we never talked about Melanie behind her back or to her face, but behind closed doors, sometimes there was some things that were said. So maybe what I just said to you is a lie. Even though she wasn't there and she never heard of it, we still talked about her. And I'm going to share it with you briefly. We're playing a team tomorrow night for the state playoffs to get into the championship game, a team that's knocked us off the last 2 years. Big deal. The whole team was at my house. My parents are the Booster Club parents. My mom and dad were making spaghetti upstairs. We're all downstairs listening to some very motivational gospel music. AC/DC. Great group. I had the stereo up, 12 guys in my room, door closed. We're talking about how we're going to beat Bingham High School tomorrow night at the University of Utah Stadium, when a girl's name somehow came up in the conversation. What was her name? I asked you not to forget. And there was a few jokes cracked. I was the instigator of the jokes. 20 minutes later, there came a knock at my bedroom door. Guess who's on the other side of that door? It was my father. He walked into the room, and my dad shut off AC/DC, and he dropped to both knees, and he's not going to pray. Better than prayer. Let's stop for a second. Why did my dad drop to both knees? Eye to eye. Remember, David just showed us a quote. Face to face. Nothing can ever replace face-to-face relationships. Nothing can ever replace demonstration. Nothing can replace that. One more thing I'd like to add to the eye to eye. Don't ever walk in somebody else's shoes. You're robbing yourself of fulfilling your potential. Drop to other people's level. In other words, if you want to teach your children and your grandchildren something, sit on the floor with them. Today, you can all see my height. My kids are taller than I am. It's amazing what happens when they drop to a knee to listen to me talk. Just one-on-one. Face-to-face. Means the world to me. You'll see it before the end of my session. My dad drops, and my dad says this. I can't believe what you guys have been saying for the last 20 minutes. I've heard everything. But it's not your fault. I'm most disappointed in your captain. Who's he talking about now? And then my dad took it a step further. You know what? It's not his fault that he's a bad leader. I'm the one who's raised him. And then my dad got up and walked out of the room. Who just took the hit? He did. And he didn't say anything wrong. I did. My dad walks out of the room. The team, they leave because they feel uncomfortable. Nobody had spaghetti dinner that night. And here's the worst part. Next day of school, we're wearing our jumpsuits to play Bingham that night. We never brought up Melanie. We didn't talk about it. We didn't change the way we behaved. That'd be like you guys showing up to this meeting today and hearing about how we can be better leaders, be more significant, be more empowering, create a better following, and then walk out of the room today and find no one to serve. Just go watch tonight's game on NBC. Watch the Sunday night. Watch Carrie Underwood. I love Carrie, by the way, but not find someone to serve more than yourself. What a waste of a kickoff session. That's how I feel. That's what we did. We're sitting having lunch. My high school, third largest in Salt Lake City, 2,400 kids. It's a big campus. Guess who walked into the cafeteria during lunch hour unannounced and uninvited? How would you like to have your father join you for lunch in high school? Good, we're all on the same page. My dad walks in, room 10 times bigger than this one. People, 10 times more than this. And my dad comes over to where the basketball team is sitting with the cheerleaders and a few football players, and my dad says this to the captain of the team: "Son, where's the girl?" Listen to my response. "Dad, please don't embarrass me in front of all my friends." Who was my concern about? Me. He said, "I'm here to teach you about how to gain a better following. And most importantly, I'm here to teach you how to have courage and stand up." And I want you all to know that back then, I wasn't paralyzed. 10 years later, almost to the day, my dad would walk into a hospital room and say the exact same message again. "Son, I'm here to teach you how to have courage and stand up." I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, "I need you and your buddies to follow me." What do you say when your father says that to you? No, you don't say a word. Not if you got a dad like me. You don't say one word. You just get up. We all followed my dad over to her table, and as soon as we got to her table, by the way, just picture this. Can I just get you guys to do me a favor and just look around the room for a second? Just take a glance. We're about, I'm going to say, 3/4 to almost full. 3/4. Picture an entire cafeteria, 2,400 kids, so 10 times as many as in this room, and it's not quiet. But everybody's eyes is watching the basketball team in their jumpsuit walk down the middle of the cafeteria to where the girl is sitting by herself with joy all over her face and applesauce all over her bib. She wore the pink thing to keep the applesauce and the French fries and the spaghetti off her shirt. She also drooled. As soon as we got to her table, my dad touched her only arm and he said the following words, word for word: "Melanie, my name is Kelly Hymas. I've heard all about you. It's an honor." And she started shaking. Not because she's scared. Why is she shaking? Nothing can replace face-to-face. Folks, you just heard what David said, what he taught us. Nothing can ever replace how you build relationships like that. Nothing. No technology, no social media, no Twitter, no Facebook. That's why we're all here. "Melanie, I need you to meet my oldest son face to face. He's the one that has said everything about you. And he didn't say anything bad, so she knows nothing of what was said last night. Me, I'm feeling like a hypocrite and a blasphemous. Because what did I say last night? Trash. But she doesn't know it. I touch her hand, and she showed more joy than's on that picture, and she started shaking. She thought that I was some celebrity. But you guys know that I'm not. What was I doing last night? I was talking trash. And then one by one, all my buddies went up and they touched her one hand, and she shook every time. By the way, can I just ask you this? Who's watching now? Who's watching this take place? The whole room. Everybody. Can we just say 1,500 to 2,000 kids so you don't have to lie today? 1,000 to 1,500 students are watching this happen because not everybody was in the cafeteria. We sat down, and for 30 minutes, we got to know this girl. For 30 minutes. It was an honor to get to know her. Guess what happened to her 8 days later? 1 week and a day later. No, better than death. Who said that? I'm taking away your book too. She was voted the head cheerleader of the third largest high school in the state of Utah. Not just one of the girls. They put the C on her sleeve. They put the skirt on her. They duct taped a pom-pom to her wrist, and she twirled in a circle every cheer. The girls would huddle around her. She would type the cheer, the number. The girls would go do it, and she would twirl in a circle. And I want you all to know that it made the local news where I live. And then some of you are going to be old enough to remember this. It caught national and international attention. Some lady by the name of Katie from New York City flew to Salt Lake to meet her face to face and put her on the Today Show and showed the world what this girl does from her wheelchair. And then Katie Couric, with 2,500 students in the gym, asked Melanie one question. Here's the question. Melanie, what's the best part about being the head cheerleader of one of the biggest high schools in the state of Utah? Do you know what she said into a microphone with millions listening? She said this: "Look at all of my..." And 2,500 students stood up to their feet and kept whistling and cheering. And in fact, the more that we cheered, the more she shook. She was so excited. Katie Couric, she tried to get us to sit down, but we're not listening to her. We don't know who she is. We're watching Melanie. Look what just happened to Melanie, all because of how many people? How many? Who was it? And now you know why we're here. I want to know if you have the same guts as my father, or if you just showed up like everybody else. That's what my dad said to me in the hospital. You can go back to the IMEG, Eric. That's what my father said to me in the hospital. "Son, what if you could be a better father, a better husband, with no hands and no legs than you were 3 weeks ago when you had them? Son, you just woke up from a coma. They woke you up. And the good news is you're still breathing. There's more good news, son. They fixed all the broken neck, all the bones that you broke. They fixed it all. It's all better. They couldn't repair the spinal cord. There's more good news. Your wife, she's in the room." And then my dad gave me the bad news. What was it? Do you not see it? They got the camera on me. What was the bad news? Paralyzed is a vague word. I got people in this room that are more paralyzed than I am. I'm not saying that rudely. I'm just saying that I have people in the room that have gone through cancer. I haven't. I'd rather break my neck. I have people in this room that have lost a child. Is that paralysis, yes or no? Yes. I'd rather break my neck than to lose a child. I want to help you get through that. I'm going to show you and give you some ideas. My dad did not say the word paralyzed. My dad gave me another word. Give me the lights up, please, in the house. I want house lights up, please. Thank you. Let's do this. Right here, sir, in the middle. Yep, your name. Come see me, bud. Come see me. Give him a round of applause, please. Okay. Right up on the stage, Mike. Come here. Let me shake your hand. Pleasure. No, the pleasure's mine. Can you get a close-up of this, please? Just right there, Mike. Now shake it the way you would shake some there. Now we're talking. No, there's power in this. My dad taught me the power of a handshake and the value of it. But you'll notice if you're doing a close-up, my hand's not gripping yours. You can feel it. You'll also notice that my hand is, well, it's very, very bony. Turn over your hand. A lot of muscle covering up all the bones. See all the bones sticking out of my hand? Mm-hmm. So my dad told me that I didn't just lose my legs. What else did I lose? Use your hands. I lost all 10 fingers and my forearms. That's a double whammy, Mike. That's dexterity. That's playing catch with the kids. That's
it's holding your kids.
That's holding them. There you go. Now we're talking. Right. How about holding the wife's hand? Maybe zipping a pair of pants up. How about cutting up a steak? What about the Hardy? Now he's got my attention. Whenever somebody drops to a knee, and I didn't ask him to do this, he's got a follower. Leaders develop followers. They don't just ask for likes on their Facebook page. They demonstrate it. Please give this guy a round of applause for showing you what it looks like. Go ahead. Thank you. My dad said, "What if you could be a better father, a better husband?" I said, "Dad, I can't walk. I can't hold her hand. I can't ride my Harley. I can't play catch with my boys." He said, "Stop right there. What do you notice about all 4 of those sentences?" No, you're missing the first word. I said the word I 4 times. I. I want you all to know that I'm grateful you're all here for the meeting. I'm really glad that you're here. FSTEC, thank you. We're glad that you're all here. Thanks for showing up. Anybody can do that. I want you to know that the true benefactors of today's session is not you at all. This session is not for you. Who benefits from you being here? Everybody else that didn't show up, you're right. Now we're talking about true leadership. Now we're talking about leaving a legacy. Now we're talking about people like Nelson Mandela, Helen Keller, Mother Teresa. How much money did they all have anyway? None. What titles did they have? What was Mother Teresa's title? That's incorrect, not mother. None. Who gave her the title of mother? What was Nelson Mandela's title? Do you not know? No, inmate. His title was an inmate. Who gave him the title of president? All of his followers. Do you understand? Before he ever got to be the president, and he didn't want to be the president anyway. He had a 7th grade reading level when he entered prison. Not because he killed somebody. He didn't commit rape or anything like that. He had courage to stand up for something he thought was right. And then his followers gave him what title? All my dad said was this: son, if you want to be a better father, a better husband, a better leader, a better CEO, if you want to be a better guide, get rid of the I. This meeting is not about you. Stop talking about everything you've lost. And I'm going to show you how to do it. Michael, I just picked on you. Turn around, find me somebody with a cell phone. I need to borrow someone's cell phone. Anybody you want, I can't see. I need a cell phone. Anybody want to lend me their cell phone? Who we got? Okay, bring your cell and come see me. Bring your technology. Your name, sir? Wayne. Give him a round of applause. Wayne, come here, Wayne. Come here, right up on stage. All right, Wayne, pull it up. Turn it on. And so, Wayne, pull up your texting app. Great. Let's text somebody that you haven't texted in a while, but somebody that's close to you. Tell me who that person is.
My buddy Eric.
Your buddy Eric.
Yeah.
He's a friend?
He's a close friend.
Great. Here we go. I'm going to tell you what to type.
Okay.
Imam. Period. Currently in New Orleans.
Okay.
Period. Can I just say something to you by way of observation?
Sure.
You need to know that all 10 of my fingers are numb and I can text faster than you. Just an observation.
A little critique. Thank you for that.
That's okay. No, I don't mean to embarrass you. Just you can work on that a little bit.
Currently
right?
in New Orleans.
Currently in New Orleans. Yep. In a session about friendship and creating relationships. Period. BTW, comma. You all know what that means? By the way, BTW, gorgeous day outside.
Yep.
It is. Last sentence right here. Last sentence. Thinking of you. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Send it.
All right.
Send it.
Hold on.
Thinking of you. Can I just say, I had somebody do this.
Send.
At the Senate. I'll stay there. I had somebody send this to his wife. To his wife 2 days ago in Tucson. She responded back, "What the hell?" Now, here's my point. Notice so we're talking about face-to-face relationships. Look what he just did via technology. What did he not say one time?
Hi.
That's right. And what did he not tell Eric at the end? E-man. What did he not tell him? That he cared about him. He doesn't have to. Eric's not, his name was Eric, right?
Yep.
He's not expecting the text.
It's funny. I did call him E-man in high school, so that was pretty good.
It is good. I'm no magician. Did you catch that? Had nothing to do with me. He just said he called him E-man in high school. Somebody hasn't texted in a while and he's thinking of him. Take the I out. Leadership is demonstrated, not announced. And you don't have to go tell people you love them. Show them. I want you to know that David, Carol, Dana, and DeAndre, where's she at? She's in the room somewhere. They were all there to greet me when I arrived after flying all night to be here. They didn't have to tell me they cared or that they loved me. I know it. Do you have the same ability as my father? The answer is yes. Are you going to leave here and do it? Or are you going to leave here and go turn on a game and grab a drink? Find someone to serve more than yourself. Please give Wade a round of applause. Nice job, Wade. Well done.
Thank you.
Nice job. Wade, give me two friends. Give me two friends in the room. Two real quick. Give me two. Give me two. Anybody you want? Real quick. Give me his name. Peter, come on up. Thanks for volunteering, Peter. One more. Your name, sir? Wendy. Oh, it's Wendy. I can't do. I'm sorry, Wendy. Female. Wendy, come on up, Wendy. And Wade, you can stay there. So Wendy, come on up. Wendy up. And Peter, my name is Chad. Hi, Chad. Pleasure. Peter, I'm going to have you stand right there. Wendy, come up on stage. My name is Chad. Wendy, nice to meet you.
How are you?
Doing well. Wendy, I'm actually doing much better than you're going to be doing in a minute. I'm going to have you go right over by that bottle. Ladies and gentlemen, according to my watch, I've been talking for 23 minutes. Spit it out. What have we talked about in 23 minutes that will allow us to leave here, this hotel when we're done, and live and leave a better legacy? What will help us to be better fathers, better parents, better grandparents, better coworkers, colleagues, bosses, supervisors, followers? What have we talked about? Take the I out. Watch how easy it is to talk about and not demonstrate. You're about to see it live. What else we talked about? Face-to-face. Remember, face-to-face is not this, Mike. We got to be close, right? Remember, you were up here dropping to a knee, and it wasn't a proposal. It had great impact on me. No one's ever done that on stage, and I've done over 3,300 presentations in 52 countries. That was a first. I'm just going to say thank you. We got it on camera, too. I'm going to put it in front of 2 million people on Facebook tonight. I'm just going to tell you that. What else we talked about? What else? Come on, what else? Say that out loud. Watch how easy it is to talk about sir in a session and not demonstrate it. You're about to see it live. Anything else? Say that out loud. Passion for people. But the root word of compassion is, and somebody tell me what passion means. Give me the definition of passion. Do you not know? Desire, enthusiasm. Here's what Webster says. Being willing to suffer for those that you care about. Look it up on you guys got computers, let's look it right up. Look up passion. Being willing to care, being willing to suffer. It comes from, you don't have to be Christian to appreciate this. I'm just saying that that's where it comes from. Compassion and passion. Being willing to suffer for those that you love, that you care about. Let's see if you got the message. Here we go. Wendy, Peter, forget today's opening keynote, forget it. I just want you to go back and do whatever your jobs require. Let me find out what those jobs are and a little bit of a description. I'll start with Wendy. Wendy, what do you do for a living?
I'm the Director of Sales for TDN2K. It's Business Analytics for Restaurants.
Love it. Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. Appreciate that. Peter, what do you do?
I'm the head of sales for Park Technology.
You're the head of sales, so like a supervisor or manager?
Yes.
So you don't do much.
No.
Here's the deal. I'm just joking with you. I didn't bring all the technology and the equipment and the people that you use to do your jobs with. Wendy, the same goes for you. I brought a bottle of water to symbolize your job. Do you know how to do your job comfortably? Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you know how to do your job comfortably? Yes or no?
Yes.
Great. Demonstrate it for all of us. Camera needs to be on them, not on me. I want you to get a drink comfortably. Show us what comfortability looks like. We're all going to watch. Ready, go. Just get a drink comfortably. We're going to watch. Just get a sip, a drink, yeah. Thanks, Wendy. Peter, well done. Lid back on, bottle on the floor. Question, how many of you can do that? Say it out loud. Congratulations, that puts you in the same category as who? That's right. And that's not why David Joe brought me here. We want you to leave here with the bar raised. We want you to do something for your kin, your children, those that you work with, that's completely unexpected, like when I arrived here today and Dana was there, a beautiful young female, along with DeAndre, another female, to lift me out of the limousine. 2 ladies, gentlemen, not 2 men. We got you covered, Chad, whatever you need. You should have seen the people watching that. A bunch of them were drunk. They were going to the game, but they still saw it. Any of you can do what they just did. That's not how people grow. Let's give them challenges. Not because I want to be mean. It's what separates people. What happens when you're faced with a challenge? Give me some challenges you go through at work. Anything. Making budget. That's a good one. Thank you. Got to make budget. Otherwise, it's hard to stay profitable in a competitive market, right? Thank you. Give me a challenge.
Keeping the customers happy.
Keeping the customers happy. Thank you. Give me some challenges you deal with outside. Keeping a team cohesive. Give me some challenges with your youngsters, your children at school. Keeping them away from, okay, drugs is fine. No, a harder one, pornography. Keeping them away from that. I'm not saying that to laugh, it's just we got to talk about it. Remember, no one's grown comfortably. Have the awkward conversation. Or I can depend on somebody else. When you see the newscast and you see somebody that died because of texting while driving, I guess you can be quiet like everybody else, or have a talk with people that you care about, even your own spouses, your own team. Hey, this is dad, this is grandpa, this is grandma, this is mom. I just want you to know that I saw this, and I know you guys aren't stupid enough to text while you drive. I know you're not that dumb. But I promise you this, you're gonna be sitting shotgun or back seat when one of your friends does what? Pulls out a phone and starts to communicate. Are you gonna have the courage to speak up because you know that's what's right? Or are you gonna keep your mouth shut like everybody? Do you see what we can do to have an influence? Gain a following? That's how you do it. So we're gonna give you a challenge and see if we got the lessons today. Go back to work, do your jobs again, get another drink. This time, wait, Wendy. No hands, no hands. And I don't care how awkward you feel or look. Go, Peter, no hands. Wow, in a suit too. You're a sick man, Peter, but I like it. Nice job, Wendy. How do you feel, Peter?
Helpless.
Helpless? You look it. Good work, Wendy. Peter, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. No, cut him some slack. He's a manager. Nice job. No hands. Tip it over. It's not my stage. Tip it over. Tip it over. No, we're spilling water everywhere. No hands. Stop. Just stop. Stop there. Stop. Stand up. I want you to be comfortable. And now you see the problem. What would have been the best way? See, my worst fear is not coming and speaking to you. My worst fear is that people see and hear a message and they sit there in the audience and they don't grab it. But I can't judge you. I'm a team captain that learned it my whole life and never to get it until 10 years after when I would break my neck and my dad would teach it to me again. What would be the best way for Wendy and for Peter to get a drink? I never asked for Dana to be there this morning, folks. I never asked for those guys to help me up the stairs. And I certainly didn't ask for David Job to bring me to this event. You're wrong. And if you think I set you up, now you're making excuses so you can be like everybody else. Service isn't a setup, it's an opportunity. And I'm asking you to be looking for it everywhere you go. It'll separate you from the group. You'll be like the Nelsons, the Mother Teresas, the Danas, the DeAndres, the David Jobs. There are people in this room that are like that, but apparently no one right now, nobody got up. The demonstration never was for Wendy, and she felt totally out of place. You know that because she tried to grab the bottle with her hands. She didn't want to spill. She felt very awkward. I was waiting for somebody to what? Just come up and help her out. So you're not allowed to move. Just stay there. You're not allowed to move. The job's not done yet. The lids are on the floor. I'll wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't sit down, sir. Don't sit down. Don't sit down. 7. Okay, stay standing right there. 8. Look, everybody just stop. 9. Stay there. 9. Stay right there. Don't move. Now you see how a movement takes place. Just look. Now you see how a movement takes place. You embrace your followers as equals. Other people fit in, and being part of a group is much easier than doing it singly. That's why you embrace them as equals. Leadership is overglorified. So if you're not the type to stand up and help somebody get a drink, that's okay. You don't have to be. Find somebody doing something great and recognize them for that. That's the second way to do it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody in the room? If you're not the type to go up and help somebody get a drink, that's okay. Find somebody doing something wonderful and go up and recognize them publicly for that. Why must it be done publicly? Why? Why does it have to be done publicly? Say that again? So proliferate. Absolutely. I can't say any better than you, Michael. You nailed it. Otherwise, it's just done in secret and others don't learn from it. Now you see the power of the demonstration. One more thing. Peter, come see me. Watch. Just watch this. Peter, let me see your hands. Good pair of hands, good muscle tone. How much do you use them, sir? How much? How often?
Every minute.
Every minute. So they must have quite a bit of value to you, sir.
Absolutely.
Give me a number value, 1 to 100.
100.
100. I'm fine with that answer. Please face the camera, face the peers. Watch close. I notice on this hand, there's a band.
Yes.
Would you face the camera? Close your eyes. Don't open your eyes. What's the band represent?
My marriage.
Can you tell me? Would you mind sharing a little bit about that with us? I mean, tell us about your family. I'd like to know a little bit about your family.
I have a wonderful wife named Robin. I have 3 children
How long you and Robin been together?
for over 20 years.
Congratulations. I think that's remarkable. And you said three children. Is that
3
right?
children.
3 children. Ages?
23, 24, and 14.
Congratulations. So 23, 24, and 14. 14-year-old still at home?
Yes, she is.
Wonderful. I need to apologize to Peter for what's transpired today unexpectedly at the hotel. Accident happened. He's lost his eyesight. His daughter's only 14. That means when she goes to her first homecoming dance, he's not going to see her homecoming dress. He lost his eyesight today at the hotel. There was an accident. When she goes to prom, he's not going to see how pretty she looks. How's he going to find out? Robin's going to tell him. That's her name, right?
Yes.
Robin's going to tell him. And when she's out there playing, what's one of her hobbies? What's your daughter's hobbies?
Acting.
Acting. When she does this great role and has this perfectly skit, she nails it. He might hear her voice, but he won't see the action. How's he going to find out about the action? Robin's going to tell him. And one day, I bet you his daughter gets married, and I bet you $1 million, Peter walks her down the aisle. You know why? This guy's got pride. But his daughter is going to hold him tight. Why? Dad can't see. By the way, if you think that what I'm doing is somehow silly or unrealistic, think twice. Life doesn't always go as we... Watch what Peter does here. Watch. Peter, would you like to have your eyesight back, to have everything that I've taken away? Or are you going to keep 100 on your hands?
I like to have my eyesight back.
Open your eyes. Do you see what he just did, or did you miss it? Just 2 minutes ago, he told you that his eyesight, he told you that his hands were worth how much? Now he's telling you that they're not worth 50. I cut it in half. I didn't. He did it. Here's the message. All too often, you and I as leaders, we look at what challenges us for today. Let me see your hands. Let me see it. We look at what our challenges are, and we put 100 on our problems and our challenges. Guess how productive we are, and guess how many followers we gain when we put 100 on our problems? That's right, 0. That's what my dad was trying to teach me with this. Son, what if you could be a better father? What if you could be a much better coach in basketball, even in soccer? You don't have to put the worm on the hook to catch a fish either. What if you could be the best guide? What if you could be a better husband to your beautiful wife? And remember what I said? I. Do you have the ability to change like Peter did? And how long did he wait? 2 minutes. Me, I waited 2 years. That's why I like this guy. I promise you, I will find people like Peter to hang around, because I want to be able to lower my pride enough like that to create a following and leave a legacy. Please give this man a round of applause along with the rest of you guys. Nice job. Well done. Nice job. Nice job. You guys can have a seat. Thanks a lot, Wendy. Thank you. Nice job. In order for you guys to understand, go ahead. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thanks, Wendy. So you can relate, Wendy. Fair enough? That's the last picture we have before I break my neck right there. Let's go to the screen. We're going to end it this way. She is beautiful. We shared 2 little boys. 2 days later, I would make a bad choice and break my neck. I'll share it with you briefly. She called me up and asked me to hurry home to play ball with the 2 little boys, ages 3 and 1. I told her that I needed to stop by the farm first to feed the animals. Let's make a long story short. I went to the field, I got out of my truck, hopped on a tractor, and I loaded up a bale of hay that weighs more than any vehicle parked outside. I ignored the warning light telling me that my hydraulics were low. I ignored the red light. Tell me why I ignored the warning light. That's one right. You're right, but you're not all the way right. Guess how many times I've made that tractor work on low hydraulics and never gotten caught? That's right. Just because you don't get caught doesn't make it right. Teach your kids this stuff, please. Oh. And just because you're by yourself and nobody's watching doesn't mean you're not hurting other people. That's how I teach my kids about the standards of dating and respecting the girls that they take out. Just because they're by themselves doesn't mean they couldn't hurt who? Others. Daddy was by himself and I hurt 1,000 people. I ignored the warning light, bale of hay rolled over backwards, landed on my body. My head broke through the steering wheel, my mouth broke through the column, and the column was now my mouth. No pain, but the column is what snapped my vertebrae and severed the spinal cord. I was able to do this. Through my nose. Guess who found me 48 minutes later? My wife. She had the 2 kids in the car with her. You don't leave a 3 and a 1-year-old at home alone. I met a lady by the name of Oprah. She made a movie on our story. I'm going to show you a 1-minute clip. Here it is. There's my dream right there. And the person on the tractor is not me. I'd like you all to meet my father. My dad quit his job when the doctors told him I would never walk again, and he took over my dream of the farm. And my dad's drawing no pension or no 401k. He's not wealthy. Wait, let me take that back. Right now it's Sunday afternoon. Where I live it's 3:30. Guess what my father's doing right now? He's running the ranch. He's the richest man I've ever met in my life. There's my bad choice. Bale of hay rolls over backwards and lands on my body. Folks, if you want to know what that feels like, just leave here and ignore the opportunity to serve others more than yourself. Someone's going to be trapped because of that. You could have had the opportunity to change somebody else's life for the better, and you would have never known that. That's what separates the Nelsons, the Mother Teresas, the Helen Kellers, the Larry Birds. And why do I say Larry Bird? Not because I think he averages the most assists, and he's been retired for over a decade. People are always better when Larry Bird was on the court, and he's a forward, not a guard. He's a number 3. And the guy averages number 3 in assists behind John Stockton and Magic Johnson, and they got players with better athletic ability than him today. That's why I love Larry Bird. My wife runs up to the tractor. She thinks that I'm dead. In truth, I'm still breathing through my nose, and here's where a miracle happens. Watch. Amazing. Where I live, we have first responders, cowboys. I live out in farm country. My dream's always been to be a cowboy. They show up, 5 of them, and 3 Utah State Troopers, and they can see that I'm still breathing, but I'm not going to last much longer. And they got a massive problem on their hands. What's the problem? There's no way to get that. They don't know how to get the bale off me. They don't know what to do. So watch what 8 men do. This is unreal. Watch this. 2 troopers on the left. 1 cowboy in the middle. His name's Larry Russell. 1 more trooper on his knees. Michael, thank you for what you did up here. Look, look, look. See that cop on his knees? And then there's 4 more cowboys on the other side. That makes 8 men that did what? Lifted 360 pounds each off my body. Dana and DeAndre helped me get out of the vehicle this morning. Can I just ask you something? 2 ladies, 8 men, and a big truck. I just want to know how it's possible, that's all. That's a fair question, isn't it? A couple of ladies lifted me up, and 8 men lifting a big truck off my body. I just want to know how that's possible. Nothing? Say it out loud. Thank you. Somebody said passion. Can I ask you another question? If somebody walked into this room right now and said this, hey, sorry to interrupt your meeting, there's been an accident outside, bus is tipped over, people are trapped, we need help. Are you sitting or are you going? I think you're going too. Why? Because you're good people. That's not the problem. Do you know what our problem is? Wendy and Peter, and how many got up? Now you know what we can work on. Don't wait for the bus to crash. Don't wait for the planes to crash in the buildings, and don't wait for a shooter to walk into a school. Leave here as soon as I'm done and find a way to do it. It's because of what I've shared with you today that this picture exists right here. We just celebrated over 20 years. She's stuck by my side. For 13 of those years, I've been a quadriplegic. What an angel she's been in my life. And we're happier today than ever before. And my body is 95% numb. My dad's not so stupid, is he? Son, what if you could be a better husband, a better father? You just gotta stop thinking about yourself. My boys are no longer 3 and 1, 16 and 14. And I got a daughter. We adopted Gracie from another country. I never dreamed I'd have a daughter. And can I share one more thing with you that very few know about? I'm not allowed to post this on social media until it actually happens in the next 30 days. We just got word that she's ready. Our 4th child. Meet Lydia, 5 years old, from Ethiopia. We'll be on a plane to pick her up in less than a month. Son, what if you could be a better husband, a better father? What if you could be a better guide? Folks, it's time for me to wrap this up, so I'm going to wrap it up the best way I know how. The final piece of this is commitment. I want you to know that I made a commitment to my family, that it's family first always. That's why I'm grateful to David and to Carol for letting me stay at the college game yesterday and watching Brigham Young University swap all over the University of Virginia. It was an awesome game to watch. Family. It wasn't about who won the game. It was family time. I don't get home again until October the 4th. I'll be in New York City tonight. My plane leaves in 1 hour and 55 minutes from now. I'll make it. I'm not worried. They know that I'm coming. I've made a commitment to the boys that I won't miss one of their games. Here's the problem. 6'4", go back to the screen, please. 6'4" freshman on the left, starting JV ball. So I went to his JV game last year, and then I flew all night to Greenland to speak for Ice Road Truckers. Go to New York, and then you fly across the Atlantic, and then you get to Greenland. So I went to his game, going to spend a week with Ice Road Truckers, fly back for his next JV game. 2 days after Greenland, I was there. I get a call on my satellite phone from the 6'4" kid saying this. Hey, Dad, I need to talk to you. It's very important. I said, okay. He said, Dad, you should probably sit down for this. Okay, I'm there. Dad, Coach called me into his office today, Dad. He's starting me in my first varsity game tomorrow night, Dad. I said, can they cancel the game? There's no way I can make it back. Do you remember what David Job said today? Nothing can replace what? And there's no way I can be face to face with him tomorrow night. And I am having a hard time. But I can watch it via technology, FaceTime, Snagit, Jing, Skype. I just got to get it set up. So I hang up the phone and I wheel to the manager's office of Ice Road Truckers, and I try and start arranging this the night before so that I can watch him play in his first varsity game tomorrow night. You know what the manager says to me? The same thing that David Job said to me last night on the phone. Why don't you go live what you teach? He woke up the pilots of Ice Road Truckers at 10:38 p.m., flew me across the Atlantic Ocean to Toronto, Canada, where I caught a direct flight to Salt Lake City and arrived in Salt Lake City 40 minutes before tip-off. It's true. You're about to see it. 40 minutes before tip-off. And then I left my luggage there, because luggage isn't my number one priority. What's my number one priority? Family. Plus, I was flying Delta, and they lost it anyway somewhere, I'm sure. But I like Delta. They treat me right. We just lose luggage all. It's okay. I want you to know that I got on the freeway, and I drove safely 35 miles an hour over the speed limit to the high school. Whereupon I wheeled my chair into the gym, and I got there 12 minutes before tip-off. 8,000 people in the stands. Basketball's big where I live. And I yelled at him, "Ace, I'm here!" And he gave me a thumbs up. And I gave him my thumbs up. There it is right there. It's my thumbs up. I mean, it's not due to lack of desire. It's gravity. Yeah. I gave him thumbs up. He went and did his team cheer, and then he did something that I've never seen done in professional sports, ever. I'm not going to tell you what he did. All I'll say is this. My son has started varsity every game since. He's now 6'5". He's got 3 offers to go play college ball. And he's the captain of his team his sophomore year. A much better captain than I ever was in high school. I'll show you why. Somebody videotaped how this kid looks for a place to serve at every game. And they put it on YouTube, and it got over 2 million hits. And I knew nothing about it. Here's what was put on YouTube by somebody in the stands. Commitment. Give me some volume. Do we have volume? There we go. A little more. There he is. There's my boy. There he is right there. Sophomore now. That's where I sit every game, right there, right on the baseline. That way I can watch all the action, and I can make sure the refs make the right call. There's Shondell. Listen, here's the announcement. And everybody knows it's coming. They know it. He's been doing this for a year. A sophomore, 6 feet 4 inches in height, number 23. Look at him wave the towels. They know it's coming. They get their cameras out. I get my camera out. He gathers his team together, gives them one last motivational mecca, and then they go back to the head coach for coach's motivational mecca. There he is right there in the back. And watch. Watch this. Watch. A leader must have courage. If you're not the type to have courage and stand out, then find somebody doing something good and recognize them publicly. Look, 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 look. He runs clear across the court, and he drops, just like my father did to me. I'm not the father in that picture, he is. Not one word is said. And then he goes for tip-off. And look who followed suit, some of his buddies. I don't even know who those kids are. And they started hugging me. Now you know why I can't miss a game. Folks, do you have the ability to leave here and make this commitment that we've talked about today? I want to thank you for giving me 60 minutes of your time. You've been an absolutely wonderful audience. Enjoy the rest of your conference. I'll see you around. Thanks. We're done. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Thank you, guys. Thanks. Thanks, David. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.